All right. So today we have with us Mr. Anthony King. He's the Vice President of Sales for RX Return Services, and really excited to have you on today, Anthony.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invite. I love what you guys are doing over at Recruiting.
Thank you. So really appreciate your time. And really the point of this is really just to get to know you and your company a little bit better and, just start conversation, right? More conversation within the industry. And we know that can lead to good partnerships and conversation down the line. And so if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself and the company.
Well, again, thank you for having me. Bear Recruiting is doing some amazing things, and it's a joy being here. I think the reality is, I cut my teeth in sales with a customer-centric focus from the time I was 15 years old, and brought that to RX Return Services in the sense that we build relationships here. We were founded by a pharmacist who was frustrated with the returns business, the reverse distribution industry, lack of clarity, transparency, et cetera. And he solved the problems that he was facing. So RX Return Services mission really for the past 10 years has been delivering pharmacist-centric clarity around remuneration for their unwanted, expired, or unneeded drugs. So very exciting opportunity. And starting out with a group of 5 folks, on outside sales through COVID and securing government accounts, et cetera, through the last 3 years. It's been a ride and a really enjoyable one. So
that's great.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. That's great. And so you touched on a little bit, I guess, what has business looked like for you guys within the past I'd say year or two?
I touched on the growth there, and how it looked 2 years ago certainly was certainly concerning, and I think the entire industry, healthcare in general, was concerned and kind of rose to the occasion. When others closed down, we found that we were in higher demand. People still needed us, especially when businesses were having trouble. We were able to deliver checks in 90 days for every manufacturer out there, and that led to that 750% growth, being that customer centric on-call organization that has the answers to questions and kind of acts as a subject matter expert, leading people to a better experience in returning their drugs and destroying their unwanted products. So it's been great. Now we have a team of 55 folks. We've got 3 offices, a warehouse that is 20 times the size of the one I interviewed in, and just a phenomenal opportunity to, I think, really do what our name says, which is be of service to those who need us in the industry, right?
Sure. Well, and I think you hit an important part there. It's like the being of service, right? If you're actually providing a good service and a good value add to people, companies, organizations, I mean, that's what we're in business to do right there. So, and you touched on it a little bit. I guess what do you think has really contributed to the growth for you guys within the past year or two?
I think you are in the heart of it. Bear Recruiting, you're sourcing, training and working with the very best people in the industry. And ultimately, I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to recruit the most diverse work group I've ever worked with. People from all different walks of life, all different income levels, all different experience backgrounds, and brought them to the table, to our diverse community we serve. I think, in general, people are focused on building bridges and building relationships, and that's internally first, and then that's reflected externally. So to answer your question, it's our internal folks that I call the best team ever. I mean, they're amazing. We have our meetings every Monday morning, and it's the best team ever meeting, and we believe that, and we're going to continue to bring that joy and that excitement to the industry, and continue to help people. And so that really is it. It's our people. And that's the most exciting thing about what I do, is I get to work with amazing people every day, striving for success and striving for personal and organizational goals that some might think are a little lofty, but we think they're entirely attainable and exciting to look at and attain. So yeah, super exciting. Thank you.
That's great.
Great folks.
That's excellent. So you hit on another key point I want to bring up. We talked about having a great service or product that actually solves somebody's issue, right? Or a company's issue. But the second piece you just touched on, which I liked a lot, was you have to have an internal team that's solid, that has a great culture around it to even get that to the market, you know? So I guess within those two items, where do you see the importance of those two? Is it kind of like a 50-50 split? Which one of those is more important in your eyes when it comes to overall company growth?
You know, I think they are hand in hand entirely. You know, I think that without the ability to have a solid, satisfied team led by servant leaders who view their position as serving the external customer, the internal customer, from the janitor all the way on up to the CEO or owner or board or investors. You know, the reality is that you've got to bring everybody together and ensure that you deliver messaging that's going to carry throughout your organization and throughout your brand.
100%. I agree with that. I agree with that. And so going into the next topic of any upcoming changes or shifts that you might be anticipating for the pharmaceutical biotech space, is there anything on your guys' radar that you've noticed as an upcoming change or shift in the marketplace for 2023? Or I guess, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, from our industry, I see a lot more players coming into the industry. You know, when I started, there were 7 or so major players. I see reverse distribution and compliance, the social concerns related to what non-compliance can result. I feel that really is one of the polar shifts, the idea that instead of being focused on the idea that it's the lives we're saving at the patient level, right? I mean, healthcare, let's face it, I mean, it's never been more evident than in the last 2 years. I mean, the reality is healthcare rises to the occasion, right? You know, all federal administrations, everyone in healthcare, everybody who supports healthcare believes that we need to do more on the back end, right? We need to be responsible to the folks that may get their hands on products that aren't meant for them. We've seen tragedy. You know, we're concerned about our streams, our rivers. We're concerned about our landfills, right? We're concerned about our air. And I think that, you know, the focus on saving lives, which is the most noble, has now also brought together the idea of community, social responsibility, and responding and proactively addressing concerns that are up and coming in relation to where products end up at the end of the day once they are not able to be used. So very exciting, you know, end of it. I think the industry itself, you know, has always been focused on that, but I think it's the conversation's been elevated now. And I think that's where, you know, maybe that change is coming, is just the more conversation around it.
Good. Yeah, and I mean that's literally what we're doing here, right? Sparking more conversations, getting the messages out there. You know, people reaching out to others that might not have been fully aware of these issues at hand that you guys are addressing, right? And so I think it's, you know, I think it is a very noble mission, and obviously it's working for you guys based on the growth that we've seen. So that's excellent. And so, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I just wanted to add, it really is exciting to see the federal government actually coming to RX Return Services door and in continuing to add more and more of their locations, just due to the fact that we're there for them, we're transparent, we're the ones delivering that solution. And it's really amazing. You know, the small independent pharmacies all the way on up to the federal government. It's really, really cool. So thank you for recognizing that. And thank you for that question. That's great.
Yeah. For sure. Well, you guys are doing something right, is what it seems like. So that's excellent. Last question I had for you kind of revolves around what we do. And so within the recruiting or hiring arena, I guess, where do you see that kind of going, or where has that been for you being in the industry for a while now, kind of moving forward as far as the importance of it, the methods that you've seen or methods that other companies have been using?
Well, I think folks like yourself, folks who are dedicated to finding the very, very best talent and aligning them with the very, very best companies, I believe that is going to be a major trend in the next, couple years, if not the foreseeable future. The reality is that recruiting is harder today, right? It changed after COVID. There seems to be less qualified folks out there, but it's amazing that the job numbers are where they were prior to COVID happening, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's where, we see, instead of the kind of online posts and things that we've been traditionally doing as, hiring managers, we're going to be reaching out to folks like yourself and engaging recruiters more, even on the entry level positions. While you're focused on that executive suite, the reality is that those services are needed for the, very, very entry level, first year salespeople in many regards. It's so that I see changing dramatically. And then I see that, and I think maybe the word diversity that I used earlier, and the idea of community, and the idea that we're, not just looking for the, highest score on the SAT for universities anymore. We're not just looking for, the magna cum laude or whatever have you for the hire. We're looking at someone who maybe has, the experience, if you will, the, kind of street experience, right? Knocking on the doors, doing the thing. They can do the same job. So I think that pool, that hiring pool is opened up. I think that, employers everywhere are seeing it. And I think the healthcare industry is a huge driver in that. I know our company is by far the most diverse and amazing group I've worked with. So it's, following trend all over the place. So, yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Well, hey, once again, Anthony, appreciate your time today, and appreciate all the insights on the topics that we discussed and whatnot. So for anybody out there that's watching this, where, preferably for you, where can they find you at to follow your journey and the company's journey?
So RX Return Services is at the URL of rxrs.com, rxreturnservices.com. Again, pharmacist founded returns company. You can reach out to me at my email, anthony@rxrs.com. And I look forward to hearing from you. My friend, really great speaking with you. Bear Recruiting, again, is doing some incredible things out there, and really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me and about our company and our industry.
All right. Thanks so much, Anthony. Have a good one.
Real pleasure.
All right. Bye.